up something in my mindset when I said that.
Which grandmother was she?
On my dad's side, that's weird.
You know, that would make you be a daddy's girl.
Oh, I'm definitely a daddy's girl, without a doubt. You right about that.
Which grandmother was she?
I don't even know how to love anybody more than I love him. I don't.
That's how they pass it through the love channel.
That's right. I'm gonna let Miss Rita, Miss Rita, Lady Rita. I want you to hurry up and get your question out because your phone are gonna let you come out again, and I don't want that to happen. Oh, there he is.
Oh, they brought my brother up here. I'm about to be here another hour because I know what Top Cat and he get started.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best.
Oh, it's already starting, Lady Rita. We can't understand you, baby. Oh my Lord. Lady Rita, can you hear us?
She froze, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
her service.
I think whatever she got to say must be important because she getting all kind of resistance.
You must gonna have to put it in the chat. We love her, but
freedom. Don't. Hey, Anton. Where you been, big bro? Where you been?
I know that's right. Shit. In there protecting us in that chat, telling people.
Traveling.
I got a bone to pick with you, Top Cat.
Turn up.
No,
we gotta take this. I forgot the brother was already on here.
Yeah, we gonna leave Top to last.
Nah, y'all go ahead and get it in.
Nah, yeah, you got it. Turn up, y'all. You got it.
I'm
Nah, y'all need to get that out the way. Yeah, get that out the way. Hey, I'm muted.
No, we gonna take care of it. It's gonna be real quick when you get done. We're gonna take care of you first.
All right, for sure. Yeah, so I had went back because I was trying to get the gist of what the conversation was about. And one of the things that I've pretty much been going back and forth with people, you know, when I talk to people, is this definition of what white supremacy is. And I was trying to find something that I could come up and talk to you about, right? And you hit on some key thing, and you hit on some key things on that, and that's basically the bottom line and fundamentals where people need to kind of get to. My thing is this: if you have some type of diction in regards to reading definitions, like for instance, Malcolm X, when he was locked up, he read the dictionary from front to back, right? So we know what the definition of white is. And there's also other definitions of what white is in regards to a spiritual thing and a natural thing, not necessarily a color and how it reflects and what it does. And then you're dealing with a supremacy thing, right? You got the supremacy thing that we have on the other side, right? That supremacy is a powerful word. Now, my thing is I always tell people, shut up until, you know, in regards to why are you giving people power that they really don't have? And if you put the two words together, they don't mix on who they're relating them to. So
that's
my question is how you feel about that when these people be pushing this white supremacy, and the majority, I'm not even going to say 90%, I'm going to say 100% of people that push this agenda look like us.
Because the ones who wrote it look like us.
That part.
And so if the ones that wrote it look like us, the main people won't be pushing it look like us. The KKK was started by some people that look like us.
Thanks.
The regalia come from the brotherhood in Spain, right? And they was the ones called the Black Hand because they was the leader of the Klan raids. All of a sudden, the pale faces pushed them out. Clayton Bixby, when they discovered that that's a darky under that hood. But they knew the whole time because they seen them before they put the hoods on. Go back to Emmett Till. When they went and got Emmett Till, the raid, it was some people look like us went to the house and got Emmett Till talking about they trying to protect the village. Because they heard him whistling Dixie, they knew he was going to grow up and be able to call the clans to war. So they knew they had to stop him, so they threw that pale-faced lady under the bus. He whistled at her. He ain't paid that lady no more attention than you be paying them celebrities on TV. Probably less than that. But they heard him whistling, and they thought he was whistling the war cry. They used to call it whistling Dixie because we was from the South. They didn't know what we was saying. He went from Chicago to the South doing the same whistle that they went to the North whistling. And so, of course, they're going to be intimidated by that. Go back and look. Even in the movie that they just did on Emmett Till, they showed you them black hands, them Negroes that went and got him, threw him on the back of the truck in the movie. Yeah, right? But we don't want to talk about the dark hands that was involved in the assassination of Emmett Till, a.k.a. Chief Littlehorn. Because if he'd have grew up, he would have been calling himself Chief Littlehorn, and he would have been calling all of us to stand at attention because it's time for war. And they knew it. That wasn't just an indiscriminate killing of a young Negro. That was a strategic killing of a chief before he realized who he was. Because if he have this skill set and he realized who he is, he'll have an impact like a Malcolm X or a Fred Hampton, right? Or Tupac. He would have had that kind of influence on us. And if he'd have did his whistling thing on stage, we would have been right with him. Whatever he said, we'd have been right with him because it's in the culture and it's in the nature. So those pushing it is the ones wrote it. And that's why we get confused as to what it really is. Because we taking it at face value to mean it's talking about face color, never knowing that it's talking about a political hierarchy and an oppressive system. Free white persons in law don't mean pale faces. But pale faces is reap the rewards of something called white privilege that don't have nothing to do with them either. But we act like it ain't no poor white trash. Suffering just like us at the bottom. Them the ones was working for us. The ones that got all the accolades is the ones that was working with the enemy.
Absolutely.
That's how you know the difference.
Thank you for that answer.
Yeah, absolutely. See, and my thing is that like that's the conversation that need to be had, because I don't even think those people pushing that don't understand what white supremacy means. I'm gonna be honest.
But why you saying that? Let me ask you why you got the chief up here too. When you say white supremacy, at one time that status was used for freed melanated people. Am I correct to say that? I think
that's what a freeman was.
So that's what I was thinking. So at that time they was calling themselves white, right? So and the supremacy part that you said they invented it. So were they saying that they were white supremacy? They were better than white people? Or,
so no, it's what they. Okay, you got to go back to the chess game, because this is what war is. It's chess played out on the battlefield in the real world. It's not on a table. It's played out in the real world. The pale faces is pawns, and we are the power pieces, but we don't know how to use the pawns.
Yeah.
Soon as we realize who's pushing the pawns in our direction, then the pawns will work for us more than they'll work for them, because they want to be on the right side of the right ones. But as long as we don't know, they ain't gonna do nothing for us, because all it's gonna do is turn them from Bill Gates to trailer park trash in a week. They call it bankruptcy. They know what's going on. And that's why the pale face keeps saying it was your own people that did it, but they look like us, but they ain't us.
Do you agree it wasn't just white supremacy, how we use it now, that is also Spanish supremacy?
They was all in on it together.
Yes, blacks. Black
All
supremacy.
of them is the Spanish, French, Portuguese, the Dutch,
All
the
of them.
Germans, the French, and the English. They was all in on it together. But you gotta remember this part they don't want you to know. When all of them came over here, what none of them pink.
That part.
They brought the pink people later.
Right.
When they was recovering they lost property and they slaves.
Yeah,
That's what that was all about.
See, and that's the thing, Rod. That's right there, right nail on the head, right there. Because a lot of the things that these books that are been presented to us right in front of our face, a lot of people ain't been able to decipher them, right? I'm pretty good at discerning some of these things, reading between the lines, thinking outside the box. Now, I'm gonna give an example, and the example is what you just said. Is the 10 tribes versus Judah. You have all these different people, and I'm just using it. I'm using it before anybody jump on me.
I'm with you. Go ahead. We straight. Go ahead. What you're saying?
As an example, right? Those 10 tribes went off somewhere else. Idolaters, Horites, all these different type of peoples, and Judah stayed where they was at, and they was a stronghold. And this is the same thing what I feel is America is, because we never left. We've always been here. And them people are now trying to come back over here and trying to get a piece of the pie, try to come over here and kumbaya, but still got the same objective, as if now they're sitting here now trying to replace us, because now they know that their places are desolate. And that's how I look at the whole example. Like when you said that, that's the first thing I thought about. Just as an example, as an allegorical example, because when you look at this situation, and Dots had brought out that one thing. I don't know, Dots, if you remember when you brought out that thing where they was talking about blacks and blacks and something like that, and then the American Indians that was not counted. And then I said,
was just you talking about the census.
Exactly. So that means that we weren't black. Those are two separate people. And those are those people that I'm getting that, Rod. Is that what if I'm not too far away from that, is that what you talking about, Rod? Those same people right there?
The people that came over here that look like us is classified in the law as white.
Okay.
But they look like us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good example of a guy that came from Egypt. He was PO. When he got over here and they made him put white on his documents because he wasn't from over here, he took him to court. This all documented information. He said, why is y'all classifying me as the white man? Because he thinking the white man mean pale face. It just meant somebody who's not in bondage to anybody. And black mean the ones that they trying to conquer. It's chess turns. This is why the rosters changed the board around and put the black on the attack and the white on the defense, because they've seen the enemy for what he is. Because when he went to Jamaica, he didn't have no pale face. When he went to Haiti, he didn't have no pale face. When he went to Barbados, he didn't have no pale face. When he went to Grenada, he didn't have no pale face. All of a sudden on the mainland, his face turned pale. But when he first got to the mainland, he didn't have pale faces. Now all of a sudden, 100 years in, all these pale faces start popping up. Where they coming from? They the ones keeping us out of institutions, and they working for the enemy. Them the ones they brought over here first. The response for the tribes over here was, we want all of the trash that you don't want, your poor white trash in Europe. Send them over here, because we going to educate them and send them into your institutions to pull out everything that you was hiding from us and put it in the open. And then you get a Gordon Maxwell. You get a Joseph Rutherford. They all trying to tell us, but we don't know what they talking about. You get a Aleister Crowley, a Franz Bardon. Franz Bardon went from over here, but his information leaked over here to give us a glimpse into the Hermetic philosophies, right? So when we started inviting them all over here, the immigration, no immigrant was allowed before 1492 to come to the mainland unless they came through the port of New Orleans. Now, all of a sudden, we bringing them into Ellis Island. That was for two reasons. It take 2 weeks to get from Europe to New York, and it take about 3 months to get from Europe going all the way around and coming up into the Gulf of Mexico. It's a time gap, right? So we have to move these people fast enough to get them over here before they die. Because just like they was packed on, you can still see the pictures of them being packed on them ships, but there is no evidence that we was packed on ships the way they say we were.
Right.
That's all just inflated rhetoric that's coming from academia in order to control the narrative as to who we are.
Well, the last thing I'm gonna say is because, and I'm bringing it back to white supremacy, in a sense, put a cap so we come full circle, is that the one thing I've heard some and I'll call them melanated people, is that they say they know how to utilize white supremacy for their own benefit.
Them slave catchers.
Right. So
them slave catchers. Because once you move up to a certain level in law, when you're using the system to try to get free from their system, when you finally get to the point where you about to be free, they turn you into a slave catcher and give you a different classification in law as white.
That's historical, what you just said. We got plenty of people we can name on that one.
Mm-hmm. So them your original Uncle Toms using the sweetheart swindle to marry Big Mama and poison her, and then hire the Joneses to come and pretend like they bought the firm.
Right, exactly.
We knew better because we know you can't sell land.
Right, exactly. Yeah, pushing paper. That's all they're doing. But yeah, but like I said, the one thing I'm hammering at these cats, and they can't do it, is they need to define what white supremacy is, and they can't do it. Eventually, it'll be pressed so hard on them from so many different angles that they won't be able to use it anymore. And with that, appreciate you, Rod. Appreciate the panel.
Thank you,
I'm gonna step down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate the brother coming up here. For those who don't know, the Jamaicans wrote a counter offensive. It's called the Sacred Parchment Scroll of Black Supremacy, to address the issue of white supremacy, tying us into something what's called the African root magic. And it's going through a system of magic or sorcery or high spiritual practice that the tribes all of the earth practice. They just use it a different way, because the land being different, it requires how you use it to be adapted to the cultural phenomenon that's organic to the land. This is why they keep saying that voodoo come from Africa, because we was using the same spirit science. So the Jamaicans wrote the Sacred Parchment Scroll of Black Supremacy and the Holy Pivy. Those were written specifically to work with the man-ether magic in order to wake us up. But it was not enough. You needed a bigger study than that. So now we got what's called African root science. Then you have Nuwapu. All of these things is designed to counter. You have the Neely Fuller, which is one of the coldest pieces of literature that anybody in our community ever wrote. It's called the United Independent Compensatory Code to break the chains of white supremacy / racism. And in there, he go over the 9 areas of people activity. He telling you how they controlling us, and then he give you step-by-step instructions on how to get from under their control by changing the way you think.
Wow. Well, we're gonna go ahead and let Legendary Chief speak with you. You know.
Talk cats.
Turn up one time. Peace to the panel, peace to the ladies, peace to the chat. Salute, Uncle Rob. Turn up. Keep
Peace, Chief. Look, Top Cat, you had me sitting here waiting to get on live with you and Dane, and then you or Dane didn't show up. I'm sitting here for 2 hours.
You know who it was.
Say it ain't so.
Dane. Sometimes nigga answer the phone, sometimes he don't.
Yeah, so
but I definitely told him he definitely was down with it, and I go ahead on and drop this little. I don't know if he want me to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Goddamn, he want to put together like a documentary, and so he was like, he said,
tell him I'm with it.
Yeah, he said right now I only know 2 people right now, and that's you and Rod Hayes. I wanna. So,
tell Dane if he needs some help getting across the street like an old lady, he can call me.
Yeah, we gonna definitely put that together. So our last conversation, that's what we talked about, but he did bring it up, and he was like, man, set it up, but shit, when I hit him back that day, he ain't answered. We supposed to went on the Sunday or something. Yeah.